Hello there people, my name is Amanamaz and I have just finished watching Marvel's What If Season 2. If you didn't know, it's basically one-off episodes that shows different stories in the multiverse. Some of them are pretty drastic and exciting, and some are not so much. Like, what if Peter Quill attacked the Avengers was a pretty cool concept. As in this world, Peter was actually delivered to Ego and be part of his expansion. And seeing that lineup of Avengers was surprisingly different, because they had Hank Pym Ant-Man, the Winter Soldier, Thor, King T'Chaka Black Panther, and Goliath. So that episode was more on the positive side, whereas episodes like What If Happy Hogan Saved Christmas and What If the Avengers Assembled in 1602, I just thought weren't that interesting. Like, a Happy Hogan Die Hard episode didn't intrigue me one bit and could have easily been swapped for something more interesting or a better concept. Like, I'm sure the writers could have come up with something better. I know people really want What If the Other Half Got Snapped, so I don't know why they can't come up with something like that. And for an anthology series, I thought there was too much Captain Carter. She's in 3 episodes, the Hydra Stomper episode, Avengers in 1602, and What If Strange Supreme intervened. It's not even different versions of that one character, it's the same version that's front and center. And while I like the character, thinking back, I wish the writers gave us something new, or the same story but with different characters, because it's supposed to be one-off episodes or don't really link with each other. The What If Kahori Reshaped the World episode was a great example of this. Kahori is a brand new hero entirely made up for this show, and it was really interesting. So when she appeared as more of a minor character in the finale, it was a nice surprise. I do think she'll be one of those characters that will come across to the live action scene, as I fully believe that she will appear in Secret Wars. The episode with Hela finding the 10 rings I thought was pretty good. It's basically the first Thor film, but instead of Thor getting stripped of his powers and being sent to present day to become better, it's Hela getting stripped of her powers and being sent to medieval China to overcome her bloodlust. So while the plot was familiar, I thought it was a good episode because seeing those different combinations of characters made it really interesting for me, especially as those characters are personality-wise are very different to the ones we see in the movies. The Iron Man episode where he lands on Sakaar I thought was very fun. He basically had to participate and win in a death race against the Grand Master to get back home. It wasn't a serious episode, but it was fun nonetheless. And they killed Thanos very easily, which would have caught me by surprise if they released this episode last season as they intended, because they mentioned Gamora killing Thanos in the finale of last season. So I was like, oh yeah, I remember that. In fact, Thanos was done pretty dirty this season, like Tony last season. He was killed pretty easily a few times, I've noticed. The Nebula joining the Nova Corp episode was pretty solid and more grounded in a very weird MCU way than the rest of the episodes. Like, I couldn't care less that Nebula joined the Nova Corps, but having watched it, I got more on board with it. Now the final episode, What If Strange Supreme intervened, was a bit meh for me. Like, I didn't like how Captain Carter was the main protagonist again and completely overpowered. She used all the Infinity Stones and nothing happened to her, whereas we saw Tony die for that and it took out Hulk's arm, so I wasn't exactly a big fan of that. And they made Strange Supreme be the bad guy, completely undoing his character arc from his episode last season. And this is the kind of heel turn that needs multiple episodes and be fleshed out, whereas here it comes out of the blue and almost jarring for me. Overall, the show was fine. It was fun, but nothing special, and completely missable if I'm being honest. I did like how they released an episode every day for like 8 or 9 days. I just thought that release format was different and nice for the holidays. But other than that, nothing really stuck out, like last season with the Zombies episode or Ultron Infinity. Do I recommend that you check the show out? Not really. Go for it if you have time to kill, but I wouldn't go out of your way to watch it. If I had to give it a rating, it would be a 6 out of 10. It's mainly wasted potential this season for me, and I wouldn't re-watch any episode like I did with Zombies last season. But anyway, if you like my review, please leave a like and subscribe, that will greatly be appreciated, and I shall see you next time, and peace.